Today I'm going to show you some of the features of the Badass Targets Pack Mule. This is our stand, a well-used stand, as you can see. Some of the things I'd like to point out is this gray. This gray is not unfinished metal. This gray is actually lead. I'll show you in a minute when we set it up. The majority of your lead is actually hitting the stand back here, and all this is burnt up lead. This particular target we use a lot as a test target. This target's seen somewhere in the neighborhood of about 15,000 rounds in the past few weeks. It's a great target. It's not really showing any signs of wear. It could use a new coat of paint, but we do that about once every 5,000 rounds or so. So we've got our bracket to hold our 2x4, which also supports the rest of our steel system. And then we've got our brackets for our 1x2s that we can stake up and put our paper targets on as well. So we lay that out. We simply take our 2x4 and we stick it in here. Another thing I'd like to point out is, see the wobble? The 2x4 doesn't fit firmly in there. That's by design. We can make that fit tighter, but if you decide you want to use a treated 2x4, it won't fit in the hole if it's a tighter hole that is made for an untreated board. So we've made that wobbly enough to where you can fit a treated or untreated 2x4 in that without a problem. The first part of our bracket is our hinge system. We've got a little loop on both sides that this hinge drops down into. We've got our sleeve that goes over the top of our 2x4. When we drop that on there, it automatically makes that 2x4 lean forward. Again, by design. We grab our target with our bracket, and our bracket has the pins, the roller pins, part of our hinge system, that sit down into grooves. When we drop that in there, it makes that 2x4 lean even further forward, which creates even more of a slant. So every time that we get a shot, that target comes back and it hits the 2x4, and it might flop around a little bit or whatnot that you'll see in some of the videos, but it always returns home to that position. Now after we're done shooting and we want to shoot some paper, it's as simple as lifting that back out, putting that back in the truck, taking the 2x4 in that top bracket, putting them in the truck, pulling out our paper rig. That's our 1x2s, and we're going to put those into 1x2 slots. Now we're ready to shoot paper, just that quick and easy. We're going to do some test firing today in our next videos. You'll see us shooting. We don't encourage you to shoot at the distance that we shoot. We'll be shooting primarily 5 to 10 yards from this target. We don't recommend that to anyone. We do it strictly for testing purposes and for making you these videos. When you're firing at that steel, that lead is going down and going backwards, primarily, most of it. You may still get a straggler that comes forward. That's why we don't recommend that you stand any closer. Then definitely don't stand as close as we're standing. Thank you. Going to be testing a Smith & Wesson 460 on the Badass Target Systems Pack Mule. We're at approximately 12 yards from that target right now. We do not recommend you do this at home. We're going to test fire it. We're just going to shoot 3 rounds into it, just to show you the reaction we get out of that reactive target, again at 12 yards with a 460. Here we go. Wow. Heck of a reaction on that reactive target. No damage to the target whatsoever, and that's with a Smith & Wesson 460 at 12 yards. Awesome, awesome, awesome targets. I can't say enough for how durable they are. The abuse we try to give them, and it just keeps taking it. Great targets. Thank you.
Okay.
Systems Pack Mule. With many of your reactive target systems, it takes a whole lot of round, in other words a large caliber, to really get that target to swinging and to moving. With our system, we've designed it to where the system is so smooth, actually your even smaller rounds can move it. So today we're going to set out and we're going to shoot it a few times with 22 long rifle pistol at 5 yards. We do not recommend you do that at home. We're doing it strictly for this video and for demonstration purposes. We're going to shoot it with 22 long rifle at 5 yards and see if we can get ours to swing with just a 22. Because many of the other systems don't have a very smooth hinge system, so it's very, very hard for that target to actually move. With ours moving so easy, you can set several targets out on your range and you can move from one target to the other. You get that instant gratification of that ringing of that target. You know you've hit it and you can move on and engage another target. Whole lot of fun. If you've got somewhere you can set 4 or 5 of them, make them different heights, whole lot of fun. Great for training, great for practice. But right now I'm going to shoot it with a 22 long rifle pistol. I'm going to do that at 5 yards. We're going to see if this one will swing, but I got a pretty good idea it will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. I'm going to shoot it with our 22 pistol. Absolutely it'll swing. Still swinging from that last shot. In fact, I'm not so sure the wind's not blowing it a little bit right now. These are great targets. They ring better than any target I've seen. I can't really explain why, but they ring very loudly, giving you that instant gratification, that instant report that you've hit your target. Thank you. Talking to you today about the Badass Target Systems Pack Mule. This is an awesome reactive target system that uses AR-500 steel, American-made AR-500 steel. This is not steel that's claimed to be AR-500 like many companies do. This is actually AR-500. Recently I was shooting some competitors' targets, if you will, that were claimed to be AR-500 steel, and we actually penetrated completely through some of those with just standard rounds. That should not be happening, and it actually causes a very dangerous shooting situation. This particular target, we have shot over 15,000 rounds. We've shot it with AR-15s, 5.56 full metal jacket bullets. We've also shot it 6 times with green tip ammunition. We do not recommend that. That actually damages your target to shoot it with armor piercing ammo of any kind, green tip or any kind of armor piercing. So we recommend full metal jacket or soft bullets. Any kind of penetrator bullet is not going to be good on your steel target at all. We've shot this also with 500 Smith & Wessons. We've shot it with 460. All your standard handgun calibers, 45 ACP, 49, 22, 5.7. One gentleman told me he had a rifle bullet that would penetrate it. He had a 222 that he had loaded a particular way. We couldn't even tell, quite honestly, where to hit the target. These targets will take pretty much anything you'll throw at them, not only because of that quality steel, but because of the way that swinging action helps absorb that recoil as well. Just absolutely great targets. I'm going to be test firing it today from 5 yards. I don't recommend that at all to anyone. We do it strictly for video purposes and for demonstration. When we're done, we're going to walk in and we're going to show you not only the target, but we're going to show you some of the aftermath as well. So I'm going to step off 5 yards, which will wind up landing at my red line up here. We're going to shoot it a few times, and I may even step in a little bit closer. But again, we do not recommend that you do this at all. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. 2 bullets. 1 yard. 1 yard. Absolutely great. Come on in and let's look and see what we've got. You see, we lost some of our 2x4. This 2x4 has been with us for 15,000 rounds as well. Some of the guys got a little overzealous with it and shot it up some. So some of our spatter actually cut that 2x4. You notice where it went? It went behind the target. Same way as most of this lead. If you'll step in and take a look, you'll see lead, 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 lead. You can pick up the majority of your lead right here. It takes your lead, flattens it out, drops it, throws it behind the target. You can pick up just about all of your lead if you can find it behind the target. Absolutely great targets. We love them. This one we put, again, excess of 15,000 rounds in the past few weeks at it, and we've not even flipped it over. Many times, competitor targets, you shoot them a few thousand rounds and they recommend, well, you got to flip this target when it starts to bow. I'm not going to tell you can't shoot our targets enough to bow them, but 15,000 rounds, it's still flat as a pancake. It's got no indentations, as smooth as it can be. The only even pits we've got it all in our target are from the Green Tip 5.56. There was 6 of them shot. That's one of them. 2, 3, and that's all I see right off. These targets take it and they keep rolling. Great target system. They win.
Go.